Recognizing the significance of capital markets in driving economic growth, finance ministers from the 10 ASEAN member states joined together in 2003 in a bid to address critical market challenges in the region. This set in motion the establishment of a high-level and select group focusing on the development of the region's capital markets, giving rise to the birth of the ASEAN Capital Markets Forum, or ACMF. Formally established in 2004, the ACMF was tasked to develop deep, liquid, and integrated regional capital markets. Composed of the heads and senior representatives of ASEAN capital market authorities, the ACMF is an effective avenue for open dialogue and discussion among regulators on challenges to capital market development, facilitating early identification, timely assessment, and resolution of strategic issues. It likewise fosters alignment of efforts through extensive deliberations on all aspects of the capital markets, including equities, bonds, and derivatives, taking into consideration the ever-changing regional economic landscape while pursuing the broader ASEAN agenda of establishing a regional economic community with freer flow of trade and capital. The work of the ACMF complements the important efforts of the Working Committee on Capital Market Development under the Roadmap for Integration of ASEAN, as well as those of the ASEAN Central Bank Forum in promoting mutual understanding and fostering closer cooperation among the region's central banks and monetary authorities. The early work of the ACMF concentrated on the development of the ASEAN and Plus Standard Scheme, an ambitious endeavor which aims to facilitate cross-border offerings of securities within the ASEAN region. The vision was to adopt common issuing rules based on international standards set by the International Organization of Securities Commissions, or IOSCO, for the ASEAN standards, with recognition of additional standards required domestically by ASEAN jurisdictions for the Plus standards. In 2009, it was agreed that Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand were to be the first 3 members to adopt the ASEAN and Plus standards for both equity and debt securities. Another early accomplishment of the ACMF was the development and launch of the ACMF Implementation Plan with the involvement of ACMF members, national experts, and group of experts, and the Asian Development Bank. The latter a source of constant support for the ACMF since 2005.
ACMF is an excellent platform to further strengthen and develop close collaboration and cooperation amongst regulators in the ASEAN region. ADB would like to continue to work collectively as a strong Asian voice on core issues that concern the sustainable development of Asian capital markets, recognizing the diversity of the ASEAN economies and promoting greater regional convergence of standards.
The ACMF Implementation Plan laid down a comprehensive set of strategic initiatives with corresponding actions and milestones to achieve the goals of the ASEAN Economic Community Blueprint 2015. This included the creation of the necessary market infrastructure, regionally focused products and intermediaries, and the strengthening of the implementation process. Through the years, and as the ACMF garnered a comprehensive understanding of shared interests and common obstacles, several working groups were formed to provide focused study and analysis on particular areas of capital market development. The ACMF now has working groups for disclosure standards, collective investment schemes, corporate governance, sustainable finance, market and capacity development, and more recently, digital assets. To this day, each working group informs the ACMF with respect to its particular area of interest.
We're looking very much forward as ACMF to further engagements with the ISSB as part of this dialogue, as we work together towards our common goal of promoting globally consistent, comparable, and reliable corporate sustainability disclosures to meet the information needs of our global investors.
The Working Group on Disclosure Standards was formed to pursue the ACMF Implementation Plan objective of regional integration through the development of a framework to facilitate cross-border offerings of equity and plain debt securities within ASEAN. The ASEAN Disclosure Standards Scheme provides a single set of disclosure standards for prospectuses for multi-jurisdictional offerings of securities within ASEAN. Together with a streamlined regulatory review process, using the ASEAN Common Prospectus for multi-jurisdictional offerings of securities is intended to bring about greater efficiency and faster access to capital across the region, as well as cost savings to issuers. More recently, the work of Working Group A has been focused on promoting corporate sustainability disclosures as one of the priority recommendations under the ACMF Roadmap for ASEAN Sustainable Capital Markets. In line with this, the ACMF is working towards assessing the feasibility of adopting the IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Standards issued by the International Sustainability Standards Board or ISSB within the region, thereby promoting consistent and comparable sustainability disclosures across ASEAN. The ASEAN Collective Investment Schemes Working Group was formed to create an integrated and inclusive framework to facilitate cross-border offerings of collective investment schemes or CIS within ASEAN. The launch of the ASEAN CIS framework in 2014 with Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand as initial signatories opened the doors for qualifying CIS to be offered freely across these three jurisdictions. The launch marked a significant step in promoting cross-border investment products while encouraging greater regional cooperation. This was followed shortly in 2015 by the implementation of the Handbook for CIS Operators of ASEAN CISs to give more clarity and guidance on the use of the CIS framework. Through the framework, there has been an increase in cross-border investment, providing investors access to a wider range of investment products and opportunities. The harmonization of regulations and streamlined authorization processes contemplated in the framework has also resulted in enhanced market efficiency, and the implementation of appropriate standards for qualifying CIS has improved investor protection. 2021 brought an expansion of the ASEAN CIS framework with the inclusion of the Philippines, further strengthening the interconnectedness of ASEAN capital markets, creating more business opportunities, and enriching the pool of funds available for investment in ASEAN. Currently, the review and enhancement of the ASEAN CIS framework is an ongoing process, taking into account relevant market developments and investor needs. The ASEAN Corporate Governance Initiative was established in 2011 to attract greater investor participation by raising the corporate governance standards and practices of ASEAN publicly listed corporations or PLCs. The initiative sought to highlight well-governed ASEAN PLCs as investable companies in line with the expectations of international investors. The ASEAN Corporate Governance Scorecard or ACGS, formulated by corporate governance experts in the region, uses the OECD Principles of Corporate Governance as the main benchmark and includes international and regional best practices that may go beyond the requirements of national legislation. The ACGS serves as the objective assessment for corporate governance practices of ASEAN PLCs. In 2015, top ASEAN PLCs with exemplary corporate governance practices were recognized for the first time during the inaugural ASEAN Corporate Governance Conference. Since then, there have been a total of 7 assessments participated in by Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. To provide guidance for the continuous improvement in corporate governance practices in the region, the ACGS country reports and assessments are made available to the public via the ACMF website. These reports contain the results of the assessments, individual country reports, and recommendations to enhance corporate governance standards in each country. ASEAN PLCs recognized for their exemplary corporate governance practices in the periodic ACGS assessments were shown to experience an increase in foreign investment, improved governance, increase in stock prices, and bolstered financial performance, according to a study of the ACGS conducted by the prestigious IESE Business School of the University of Navarra in Spain. The ACMF Green Finance Working Group was established in 2016 to work on unified green finance standards that could be applied throughout ASEAN. The work culminated in the issuance of the ASEAN Green Bond Standards in 2017 and the ASEAN Social Bond Standards and ASEAN Sustainability Bond Standards in 2018. The working group was renamed the Sustainable Finance Working Group or SFWG in 2019. In the same year, it began the development of the Roadmap for ASEAN Sustainable Capital Markets, published in 2020. This roadmap charts a holistic approach and pathway to catalyzing sustainable finance across the capital markets of all 10 ASEAN member states in line with the ASEAN Community Vision 2025. the SFWG has since steered the discussions within the ACMF for initiatives that aim to address climate change through sustainable financing. Climate change is one of, if not the greatest challenge of our time. As such, the ACMF through the SFWG strives to provide clarity and guidance to market participants, companies, financial product issuers, and fund managers in a common pursuit of a just, orderly, inclusive, and affordable transition to a sustainable future for the region. As ASEAN member states experience the substantial socio-economic impacts of climate change, the work of the SFWG has gained more significance. The working group to develop various aspects of sustainable finance for the region, providing standards, guidelines, and guidance. In the last 2 years alone, the SFWG has launched the ASEAN Sustainability-Linked Bond Standards, the ASEAN Sustainable and Responsible Fund Standards, the ASEAN SDG Bond Toolkit, and the ASEAN Transition Finance Guidance Version 1. At the same time, the SFWG has also continuously supported the development of the ASEAN Taxonomy for Sustainable Finance, with version 3 successfully published by the ASEAN Taxonomy Board in March 2024. The introduction of digital assets in the region has presented challenges to many securities regulators. Hence, the ACMF created the Digital Asset Oversight Network to facilitate information sharing between members on developments in this space. As interest in digital assets increase, securities regulators must determine a balance to ensure that regulation provides ample protection without stifling growth. Within the ACMF, members remain updated on regulatory measures enforced within the region, allowing for better informed domestic policy formulation. The ACMF Market Development Program was established to be a common platform to efficiently coordinate capacity building among ACMF members. Recognizing the different stages of economic and capital market development in the region, the AMDP responds to critical capacity building needs of ACMF members to ensure readiness and meaningful participation in ACMF initiatives. Key initiatives of the AMDP include the Young Regulators Program and the Bond Market Development Program. Throughout the last 20 years, the ASEAN Capital Markets Forum has been instrumental in advancing capital markets within the region. The open, welcoming, and collaborative dynamic within the ACMF has contributed greatly to encouraging constant constructive dialogue among members and steadfast professional relationships among fellow securities regulators. The strong bonds forged within the ACMF and between the ACMF and its partners have allowed the region to weather economic storms and slumps and successfully work through a global pandemic. The commitment to pursue and implement transparent action plans did not waver even as coordination became almost entirely virtual during the COVID-19 pandemic. When the region opened up once more, ACMF members returned invigorated, full of ideas, and eager to push forward with meaningful capital market initiatives to aid the region in its recovery and infuse energy into the ASEAN economy. Now into its 20th year, the ASEAN Capital Markets Forum continues its purposeful strides toward an integrated ASEAN economic community with a robust and expansive capital market.